not me trying to have an intimate moment and the son said no.
Try to get it right, might get a couple wrong. I just double back, and then I move along.
I'm gonna just chill right here for 3.5 seconds. So I've been asked before to do a video where I kind of just talk about, you know, the mistakes, the things that I essentially wish I knew before starting a fitness journey, because I did not intend to look like this. I mean, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know, pre-quarantine days, I always said, and maybe this was just me manifesting it, I want a big old butt. And you guys were just always, some people in the comments were like, okay, stop. But like, girl, that's me manifesting what I want. And here we are, progress, right? So it has been a weird journey for me in the sense that like my body, like when I look back at my older YouTube videos, and I thought I was fit. Girl, I was not, okay? I'll try and put some, you know, receipts in this video. I went from like chubby, like I had a big face. Like my sign to know whenever I'm putting on unhealthy weight is like double chin, like very round. Like my jaw's pretty predominant, like it's there, you know what I'm saying? But before, like I felt like my face would just be swollen looking, like I was just like chubby. I had more body fat percentage on me, and that was before I cut out dairy. So maybe it was inflammation in my body. It could have just been the way that I was eating. I wasn't really in the gym like that the way that I am now, or how I used to be. Like I didn't really ever prioritize working out. I would go hiking here and there with some friends, just very casual. I thought I was healthy. I thought I was eating foods that were good for me, but in retrospect I was doing everything wrong. So that kind of inspired me to want to touch on this video today. So I started at this, like, I don't want to say I was fat, that's the thing, like I was just chunky chubby, like fluffy, like I don't know, like when I was in school, for example, I always had thick thighs. Not like now, like it's just so different. They were just fat, like there was no muscle, it was just like thick thighs. So that just kind of tells me now where I'm at, that I naturally gain weight in my face first and in my lower body, and that's just genetics. Everyone puts on weight in different areas of their body. Some people gain weight all over, evenly spread out. Some people gain it in their arms and their upper body more. Some people gain weight a lot more in their stomach. It just depends on what you're eating and your lifestyle and your genetics, right? So I always was a little bit on the heavier side, but I don't want to say that. It's just weird. You guys will see in these photos when I put them side by side or whatever the heck I'm doing with this video. So I went from that to being fit, and my version of fit was doing cardio. I'm gonna hop on this treadmill and do an hour of cardio. I never touched a weight, maybe a few dumbbells, but I never had a gym membership, right? I was always like, this is me living on my own, right, in my adult years in LA. So I always just had a gym in my apartments. So I would just use whatever was available to me there. I didn't really have a ton of options. Didn't know what a Smith machine was back in those days. So I was just really like, gonna go do my cardio. Maybe I'll pick up some dumbbells and do some upper body. And I feel like my upper body, like my arms, have always been on the leaner side. When I go back and look at progress photos, I've always had a little bit of muscle in my upper body, not my back per se. I had a fat back, and we will see those photos here in this video. So I went from looking very like chubby to transforming my body to being very lean, like getting rid of a lot of that body fat through the cardio that I was doing, but I wasn't necessarily sculpting my body because all I was doing was cardio. So I wasn't adding any muscle definition. I wasn't working on strengthening my muscles, toning my muscles too much. Like my legs were always pretty slim, like very skinny legs. I've always had nice calves, just genetically very small, muscular calves. I still can't get calves on me to save my life. Like they won't grow. They just won't. But very skinny body type, like just straight. No hips, no butt. Girl, I done did all my cardio. I didn't have a butt, okay? So I went from chubby to very skinny. And then I was like, ooh, I want to have abs. So I started doing ab workouts. And I got a little bit of abs. And again, I was just not shaped I was small body fat percentage but didn't have shape. So I went from that mindset to saying, I want to gain weight. I want to get thick, you know, I want to have a butt. So that's when I started to do a lot of research. I started watching a lot of videos. I started looking up a lot of articles. I started to track my food intake, figuring out how much I should be eating. And I gradually started to lean bulk. In a sense, that is a very slow process. I know I get comments today like, you're still bulking? How long are you bulking for? Girl, it's a process, it's a lifestyle for me. I'm not in any type of rush to get that dump truck, you know, get that slim, thick body, because for me, it is all about how I feel. It is about a day-to-day process, slowly transforming my body in a way that is going to be sustainable for me to keep up with. It's not some sort of a diet that I'll have results and then I'll revert back to how I used to look. I'll have those bad habits that I used to have. Like, you really have to take your time on this fitness lifestyle journey, and slowly tweak those things that weren't aligned with where you're trying to go. So I now have muscle. The only thing that's really changed in this journey of mine is lifting weights and focusing more on lower body, because that's my goal, is to grow my lower body and get thicker, have more shape, curves to me, and create that hourglass figure, right? So I'm doing less cardio now, lifting really heavy in the gym, as you guys can see from my Instagrams, my videos, my workouts that I'll show you guys on here, which you can find in my fitness playlist. I'll link it up here for you guys. So I used to think, and this is where I went wrong in my fitness journey and why I never got like the results I wanted. Like, when I thought I wanted to be skinny, like I was skinny, but I didn't have curves. I just felt like literally a stick. Like, I literally felt like a stick. I naturally have very long limbs, you know, long legs, long arms, and I have, you know, really big hip dips. Not so much anymore because I've built a lot of muscle around that area, but I literally was a stick. Okay, I didn't have any shape to me. So if I could go back to my older self and tell myself like, girl, maybe we should do this instead, it would be lifting some weights. And I always had this in my mind that I would look like a bodybuilder. Like, and it's so funny because like now I take pride in being like a bodybuilder in the gym. Like, I'm really out here trying to build a body, build muscle, you know, build some mass on me, gain some weight. So my mind before used to think I would look like a dude if I started to lift heavy weights, and maybe that's where I was kind of steered wrong, because I missed out on so many years of essentially having the curves and being still petite and small. So I could tell myself, and I can tell you guys, that you're not going to look bulky, you're not gonna look like a man, you're still gonna have like a very womanly like curvy body when you weightlift in the gym. I think you can look a little bulky if you're kind of following like a guy's workout plan. Not every woman wants to have a big built upper body, but some women do. You can look a little bit bulky and stocky, but it's all about what your own goals are. Like, it's okay if you want to have that look, right? It just needs to reflect in what you're doing in the gym. Like, are your goals aligned with your workouts and the exercises that you're doing? Are you working out with purpose, or are you just showing up in the gym because you think that's what fit people do? And that's another thing. That's where I went wrong, is I thought that, oh, I just needed to go to do cardio in the gym and I would just be fit. Girl, what? Like, you are missing out on so many aspects of your body. And I think I had like a runner's body. Like, I was just lean all over. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It didn't make me feel confident in my skin and the clothes that I was wearing. So that's when my goals began to shift in that aspect as well, of me wanting to just put on weight to see what I would look like. And honestly, guys, this is the happiest I've ever been with extra weight on me and seeing curves on me, seeing more of like an hourglass figure, having like, I don't know what, it's just weird. When I was a kid, I used to get made fun of because my thighs and stuff were so big, and I was always so insecure about that. So now in my adult years, thinking about gaining weight, seeing my thighs big, like, and you know, like when you sit down, they gotta go flat and they just look bigger than they are than when you're standing up. That doesn't bother me like it did when I was a kid. So I think I would tell myself also, like, don't be afraid to gain weight. And I think that the older me, like earlier on, I was so afraid to gain weight and get fat again because I had lost the weight and got so small because I used to be chubby that I didn't want to go back to looking that way. And it's funny because I weigh more now than I did when I was chubby. And it's so crazy, like the way that you transform your mindset on this journey. It truly is a mental transformation. It's probably the biggest thing I've gotten out of this journey, is getting over those fears I once had of seeing a number on the scale and then feeling so depressed, feeling so anxious, feeling so bad about myself, feeling ugly because of a number, and letting that number define how I felt. So don't be afraid to gain weight. And everyone is so different, like everyone's mental mindsets is so different. So I get it if you're afraid to, you know, start bulking, or being afraid to eat more calories, or being afraid to weigh more than what you did before because you're lifting weights and, you know, you're gaining weight essentially on top of that. But I would rather have more weight on me, have more muscle replacing the fat, and to have like those cuts and that definition, than to feel skinny and just like small, because the number reflects that. Like, I stopped weighing myself, and I learned that early on in my journey. Actually, once I did a 3-day water fast, that really began, I think, a huge part in my fitness journey, which I documented here on my channel. That was like my reset, my refresh, to start over, cleanse everything, detox everything, mentally prepare myself for what it is that I wanted to do with this transformation in my life. So I'm thankful for that experience, and if you guys want to watch it, I'll put it in the cards for you guys. But that was like the mental reset that I needed for myself to provide a lot of clarity and kind of get myself in check in a weird way. It's not for everyone, it's very hard to do, girl, but I'm happy that that was something that I did on this journey for myself. So weighing yourself is not for everyone, and I think that that can throw a lot of people off. I've talked about this a lot in a lot of my fitness videos. I don't weigh myself. I prefer to do check-ins when I need to see if what I'm doing is working for my own benefit. Like if I'm updating my calories in MyFitnessPal, I will go and do a weigh-in. I will take my measurements to see if my butt is getting fatter, you know, I'll see how much my waist is growing. Yes, I'm aware that my waist is gonna get bigger. I am increasing everything that I'm doing, but I don't let the number on this scale define my beauty like I used to. So I would tell the older me to stop weighing yourself and letting it define how beautiful or how fit you feel, because it's not the case at all. So put the scale away if that is something that might trigger you in a negative mindset. That is definitely somewhere that I went wrong on my fitness journey. Another thing is eating what I would say like a bodybuilder's diet. I used to think, like back when I was super skinny and I was like fit and I thought I was just doing everything right, I was just eating a lot of, well, I still do, chicken, rice, and vegetables. And it was just broccoli, steamed broccoli, chicken, very unseasoned, rice. I would meal prep that. I would eat that all the time. I mean, obviously it worked. I was super small, got rid of a lot of body fat, but I wasn't happy in the body that I was in. So I always just thought like, oh, I have to eat super clean. I can't be eating out. I can't eat junk food. I wasn't doing the dairy at that time. So I just thought in order to see results, I had to be this perfect bodybuilder eater, right? So now I just eat whatever I want. I literally, if I'm craving Chick-fil-A, I'll go to Chick-fil-A. If I'm craving vegan donuts, I'll eat vegan donuts. If I want to have, I don't know, like I just eat whatever I want. The difference now is I track my calories. I didn't really used to do it religiously. I didn't have a scale or anything like that. I was just eating clean and that was it. So I think it's important to know what kind of foods you're eating and honestly just calories in general. If you're eating the right amount of calories for you and eating the right calories and type of foods for the body type that you're trying to achieve, then you're going to be fine. You can literally eat whatever you want as long as it fits in your calories. Calories in, calories out. I did not know that back in the day. I was like, oh, chicken, broccoli, and rice, that's it. It was very boring. It was just unflavored. And it's honestly hard to stick to honestly a diet like that. Like, you don't want to live on a diet. You want to have like a lifestyle that is sustainable, right? Something that you enjoy, foods that you enjoy, foods that make you feel strong in the gym, foods that provide energy for you. And I think it's just all about moderation. Like, you can have those cravings in moderation. You just don't need to go crazy. Like, those foods will always be there for you. You don't need to eat them all in one setting. You could always have some tomorrow. You could always have a bite the next day. You know, it's not something that you just shove in your mouth all at one time right now. So that was also a big lesson that I learned, is I don't always need to be this perfect bodybuilder bro style way of eating in order to see results and look the way that I want to look, okay? So I definitely recommend counting your calories. It has been the biggest help for me personally on this long journey that I've been on, and it's been the easiest way for me to see results when I pair it especially with working out. And those two together, lifting weights and eating good, girl, you can have a 3-month body transformation just like this. So those are just a few things that I personally wish I knew earlier on in this journey of mine. But obviously these are all lessons that we learn along the way, and I don't regret any of the things I went through. My body went like this when I especially compare photos and I see like my mindset. I can see the sadness in some of these older photos too, and it's heartbreaking for me, like my mindset back in those days. And I don't know, just like, I have this bikini that I wore in this freaking before photo. I hate that bikini. Like, it just brings me so many like memories. So like, thinking about how I felt in certain pieces of clothing and how it triggered me, like, you shouldn't feel that way about yourself. Like, I had to love myself so much on this journey, and that is the biggest takeaway too, is accepting every part of you, accepting all of your flaws, accepting those things about yourself that maybe society doesn't deem acceptable, like hip dips. I think hip dips are so sexy now, okay? I think stretch marks, like, I used to be so insecure, also getting teased in school in my younger years about having stretch marks on like my hip area. I had a growth spurt in middle school and they just popped out of nowhere, and I was always so insecure. Back in those days, it was like low-rise jeans and crop tops, like little tight crop tops were in style, so that area would always show on me, and I was just always so insecure about that on my body. And now I learn to love those things about me because it makes me who I am. It makes me the woman that I am. And I've also done a video on stretch marks and my favorite products and how I deal with them, and fading them, and the fact that they're always just going to be there. You can't necessarily get rid of them unless you have surgery. But it's just like little things like that, like learning to accept things about you, flaws, cellulite. I have cellulite under my booty cheeks, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, it's just me. Like, learning to not let those little things irritate you because society says that's not cute. And so what? So what? Like, we all have it. Why are we going to ignore it? Like, being a woman is not attractive. Huh? Excuse me, sir. Who said that? Who said that? So I think that comes along the journey of just self-acceptance and loving yourself fully, no matter what stage you're in. And it's okay to want to change something about whatever you don't like. Like hip dips, like, I did a video on hip dips, and that was the moment I decided I wanted to work on that area. Seeing the transformation of how much muscle I've put on top of my outer hips. The fact that I have hips now, girl, let me put a picture I just took just now on these leggings. Girl, my booty is sitting out. My booty cheeks, you see that? You see the meat? Don't play with me. The fact that I was able to put on weight and muscle in that area, like, is insane to me, because I know where I started. Skinny stick legs, like no hips, no booty, you know? And it's fine. I just think that it's just a part of the journey, accepting those flaws and then working on it with love instead of working on your flaws out of hate. Ugh, I hate this about myself. I wish it would go away. That's not a way to go about your journey. And that's another thing I would suggest. Things I wish I knew is to love myself as I am. It is a work in progress, as I said earlier in this video. It's just funny how things kind of come full circle. You are the best project you will ever work on in this reality that we're in right now. Like, switching your mindset in a more compassionate, loving, positive vibration is going to make this journey so much more enjoyable for you, so much easier for you. You're going to find so much joy and happiness, maybe even passion. Maybe you're gonna wake up and you're gonna start loving your workouts instead of waking up and hating them because you hate how you look, or you hate how you feel in your body, or you hate how clothing looks on you, or you hate the fact that society says that your stomach is fat, so now you're in the gym. Let all that negativity go and switch your mind to a more positive vibration, and this is just going to be such a more enjoyable experience for you. And that's the biggest thing, the mental transformation that I'm talking about, that I wish I knew early on. Instead of saying, oh, I hate the body that I'm in, I'm chubby now, I need to be skinny, I need to have abs, and working out of hatred, and switching that into a, wow, I'm gonna cry, switching that into a loving space. Like, I wanna work on myself because I wanna feel better. I wanna work on my body. I wanna lose some fat, maybe lose some weight because I will feel more comfortable. Or I wanna work on my body because I care about my health and my breathing, and I care about the mucus that is coming out of my body because at that point in time I was eating dairy. So what can I do to feel better? Those are the type of ways that you need to think about yourself, is doing it because you care about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not because you hate certain aspects of yourself. So I think that's where I'm gonna wrap it up. That's just my honest, raw Kayla talk for today on things I wish I knew before starting a fitness journey, and the evolution of this journey, and how I went from literally, I feel like a lot of different body types, super skinny, chubby, super skinny and lean, to slim, thick, and wherever it is I'm going, hopefully thicker, okay? I just love this me, and I'm so thankful for the things that I've learned on this journey, and I'm passionate about it, you guys. I'm excited for you guys to feel the way that I feel and to accept all of you on your journey, and if you're not there yet, that's okay, you will get there. I'm excited for you guys to feel good about where you are and feeling thankful that you've made it where you've made it, you know, wherever you are in your journey. So take it one day at a time, you guys, and reflect. Honestly, reflect on how you feel every day. That makes it so much easier for me, and manifest the body that you want. I know it's crazy that we manifest a fat butt, but girl, that's what I want, and that's where I'm heading. That's everything I'm doing is for a purpose, and I feel like it reflects on my goals, and it should be that way for you too. You shouldn't just be doing something because society says you need to lose weight, so you're out here, I don't know, suffocating in a waist trainer because you're desperate, you know? I don't know, it's just like little things like that. Like, do it out of love. That's honestly the biggest message takeaway from this video, is stop hating yourself because of where you are today, okay? Especially if it's because of other people's beliefs and what they deem as beautiful, so you feel like you need to think that way too. No, stop that mindset. It's not healthy. So I gotta go. The gym closes in an hour. I rambled on for 25 minutes, but I really just felt in my heart that today was the day that I wanted to touch on this topic and be vulnerable with you guys and share photos that I'm just honestly so embarrassed. It's just not a good time for me back in those days. And it's not even about the physical, it's just about the mental. When I look at those pictures, like how I felt, I know that's what's not good memories for me. But hopefully this video inspired somebody. Hopefully it's maybe encouraged someone, maybe it motivated one person. That's all I can do with these videos that I post for you guys. That's why I'm here on this journey, to share every moment with you and how hard it can be. Honestly, you need to have these moments where you reflect, because how are you gonna accomplish those goals and see your progress and acknowledge the growth that you've made during this time? You need to have these moments. So I encourage y'all to journal. If you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody, write that stuff down and then put the book away and then move on with the rest of your life. That's what I do.
Put in the work, I made it look easy. Been in the dirt, think it's my season. I got my reasons. I got my reasons. I know you're with me, Jesus. I know you're with me, Jesus. I know I'm never alone. Come be with me, Jesus. I know you're with me, Jesus. I know you're with me, Jesus.